Okay, well, we've decided to do a second session because she did so well with that first session today. So we are going to do a little more training and work on her basic positions. I think we're ready to get to the meat and potatoes of the program. So let's see how that goes. Okay, so here we are. She did really well with the name game and with the reward marker charging. She's oddly focused today. So we're going to continue on and work on her sit down stand. I've been dying to do this because I would like to be able to start utilizing the sit and the down in my house, and I haven't taught her any of that yet. You know, over a weekend now, or about a weekend. Okay, got some snacks, got my lure. I'm going to use lure and reward training for this. I'm going to get down to her size. And I don't really need the leash in this case. I don't think she's going to go anywhere. If you think your dog's going to walk away, it's not a bad idea to have your leash on and your knee on it, but you know, we should also have good enough, a good enough high value reward and a good enough relationship that they want to stay with you. So it's kind of like a litmus test for your relationship, and also, you know, they let you know whether or not they're willing and ready to work at that moment. Never force your dog to work. You want this to be fun. If she's saying, I'm engaged, let's do it, and I'm hungry, whoa, I don't want to go get the cheese. Come here. We're going to do it. All right, so I've got the food in my hand between my thumb and my fingers here, and we use my hand as a lure. We'll put her nose up and her butt down. For her, me sitting down low like this might be a distraction. I may have to stand up. You can see she's never done this before. So it's going to be easier if I stand because she has a context cue of me standing, being put the butt down. And I put it down, I let her nibble on it the first time. You see how close my hand is to her nose? It's on it like a magnet. She sat and I gave it to her. I'm not going to do that again. That was just for the first one. Holding it between thumb and fingers. I'm going to use my hand as a lure. Nose goes out and then down. And then I reward her for changing position with food from the other hand. This is my lure, not my reward. Going to try another sit. If I'm not giving it to her, good. Good girl. Come on. I don't need to name it yet because she's not doing it perfectly and she doesn't really know what she's doing. So I'm not going to name it. I'm just going to see if I can get her to do the positions. Ready? Ready, ready, ready? Can you do another one? What are you doing? She's like, you have food in the other hand. Come on. Good. I'm rewarding every single time right now to keep her engaged. This is brand new. Now here we're going to try it down. I'm going to put my hand really low. And if her elbows hit the ground, even if she doesn't go all the way, I'm going to reward her because this will be the first time we've ever tried a down together. Sing it live. Well, not live, but you're seeing it in real time. Come on. I'm going to let her nibble at this one again because when I was withholding it from her, it was frustrating her and making her kind of bummed out. And elbows go down and reward. Good girl, free, wow. That was good. So yes, I like to use the lure as just a lure, the lure hand food, and not give it to them. But I found while I was just watching her body language that withholding the cheese that was in my hand from her while I asked her to move her body was kind of stressing her out just ever so much where she was thinking, you're asking me to do something and you're teasing me with this food, you're not giving it to me. That's not always a problem, but I could see she was getting sensitive and frustrated, so I did decide to deliver my lure to her. That's not something I would continue for very long, but we don't have a long history of a promise of a reward yet. Our training partnership is very new, so I want her to know that, yes, if she follows directions, she will get rewarded, and I'm not trying to frustrate her too much. You're always balancing between good motivation and frustration, because part of frustration is what makes them try something new and different, and every single position and everything you're trying to teach them initially is new and different. So they have to be willing to be creative and a little frustrated to try something new. We'll review your hand positions for luring after she does a few. I'd kind of like to just work with her in real time on this. There, her elbows went down and I gave her the reward. Come on. And I'd like her to get back up. I pretend I'm walking. Give her another one. Now we're going to try another sit. Good. Now she's best at that one because A, I'm tall and it makes most sense that when she's trying to pay attention to me, she's looking up at me. But also, naturally throughout our time together, she's been rewarded for sitting like with the anti-jumping work and stuff. She does know that sit is a position that seems to work, even though it has never been named for her or cued for her. She's learned that in the past week, I would say. So with that, it looks like she knows it or that it comes more naturally. It's just been reinforced in real time more than the other two, which I have never rewarded her for at all. See, now there, I haven't given her the food, and she's not quite sure what to do with the down here. So, she's like, what's going on? Come on, lady. Are you zoned out now? What's wrong? Get her engaged. Want to do something else? What do you want to do? What do you want to do? What? I'm going to play with her for a minute. Oh, there you go. And get her a little more excited. There you go. She started feeling pressure just, I think, from me being so quiet and still. So we added some fun to it. Just a little silliness to pepper up. And then she also got the down in there. And then I was able to reward it. She's being so silly. I wonder if I could get her to roll over. Oh, my goodness. You're playing dead. That's very silly. Yeah, I'm going to reward her by belly rubs. And then see if I can't get her to do something else, a little more energy. I'm gonna go down again. Can you do it? Can you do it? Good. Good. It's not a perfect down and it's kind of silly, but I just want her to offer things and have fun with this, and then we can formalize it later. Good girl. Yeah, that's a good one. Reinforce that down. And I am out of cheese, and so we're gonna end there for right now. But we got her to do sit, down, and stand, and then with a little va-voom at the end as well. Later on, we will talk about phasing out the food and the hand positions I'll show you without the dog, I think, so you can get it right, or with the dog that already knows what they're doing. And then we'll also talk about using different life rewards and how to incorporate this into a routine. But you have to start somewhere, and she'd never done a down or a stand that I could tell ever in her life, and we got all three positions, sit, down, and stand, in her very first session. So that's all for now. We'll see you next time. Okay, so we started her sit, down, and stand today. I'm pretty pleased with that. These are foundation positions that we'll use in lots of other, contexts throughout her training career, and to communicate with her throughout life. So the big takeaways for you would be to, at the beginning, make sure that your lure is really magnetized, that her nose is really on your hand. We don't want these big, gross movements. We want precision movements that are slow and very close. If your dog is jumping a lot or not able to follow the lure hand, it's probably because your hand is too far away. And the other big tip for lure reward training is to lure with one hand and reward with the other hand. We do this so that it is easier to fade the food lure from your hand, which will become your hand signal later. If they're very used to seeing the food in your hand and getting their reward delivered from the same hand, it's a little harder to convince them when you take the food away that they should still follow that hand. So that's why we do that. Practice. One hand has the food, another hand has the lure. Move your hand and reward with the other one. And we saw a little bit of stress in this session. She got low-level stress, which was kind of avoidance, like turning her head away, slowing down her motion, almost looking a little depressed. I think that was confusion and maybe me pushing her a little too hard on something she didn't understand, so she just kind of got quiet. So we incorporated some play into the session, and by all means, you should do that too. There should always be a very blurred line between play and training. And you saw that me getting on the ground with her, not only did it pep her up and make her enjoy training and the interaction again, but it actually got her moving and trying different positions that I could then say, hey, by the way, that little play ball that made you collapse into a down, that down is what I wanted. And it just kind of brought her back to life. So it was kind of good for you to see that you don't want to be too boring or too staid and stern in training, or just even too just affectless. You want to move around and incorporate play and make sure that training is fun for both of you. So yeah, pleased with how it went, and I look forward to showing you more next time. Well,